Okay, last video of the day. This coming from The Ringer. We got 4 key questions after Season 4 of Stranger Things. Beware, there are spoilers in this article. If you don't want to have spoilers for Season 4, if you haven't caught up on Season 4 of Stranger Things, click away now. Or rather, stay on the video, mute it, don't look at the screen, so I can get that sweet, sweet watch time. Thank you very much. Okay, without further ado, 4 key questions after Season 4 of Stranger Things. After a massive mythology reveal, the stage is set for the series' final finale, and a few major mysteries remain. Last month, in the aftermath of the Stranger Things Season 4 finale, Season 4 release, actor Jamie Campbell Bower raised eyebrows when he told Vanity Fair that he didn't view his character Vecna as the show's primary villain. By the time of this interview, the tentacled Freddy Krueger lookalike had 3 recent murders. R.I.P. Chrissy, Fred, and Patrick. See, I told you, spoilers. If you don't want these, click away. And an attempted murder under his belt, but the Harry Potter alum was steadfast in his opinion. I never saw him as the villain, Bower said, because I understood him. The implicit suggestion was that Dr. Brenner was the real big bad, but Bower's statement also reinforced a theory established by Dustin, the show's Mr. Exposition, earlier this season, in which he surmised that the Mind Flayer was the Upside Down's leader, and that Vecna was merely an impressionable kid turned foot soldier. With the help of Vecna, the idea went the Mind Flayer could create enough gates, cracks in the dam, to destroy Hawkins and eventually the world. Dustin's theory presented a familiar trope. A troubled, misunderstood child with special powers is thrown into a lab, taken advantage of by a mad scientist, and eventually banished into the Shadow Realm, where he finds solace in a manipulative, evil mentor. Stockholm Syndrome sets in and adrenaline does the rest, right? Not quite. I mean, this is something that we see in all kinds of media. We've seen this story done 1,000 times. Poor little innocent person taken, corrupted, so on, so forth. Could just be one of that. I don't know if I buy it. But anyways, continuing on with the article. As it turns out, to understand Vecna is to understand the little boy named Henry, who loved Black Widow spiders and had a sinister streak. Note the dead animal's mother and sister. Before he ever met Dr. Brenner. In Volume 2's big reveal, we find out that it was Vecna controlling the Mind Flayer of previous seasons, not the other way around, which means nearly every major death since the series debuted in 2016, Barb, Bob, Billy, assorted security guards, can be linked in some way to the vengeful humanoid. Despite all the evidence pointing toward Vecna as pure evil, 11 attempted to empathize with the beast during their battle inside Max's mind by invoking a shared trauma as one of Dr. Brenner's lab rats. But Vecna demurred, suggesting his final form and the resulting chaos was her fault, not that of an ordinary mediocre man. He could not shape us. He could not change us, Vecna said. Do you not see 11? He did not make me into this. You did. In blaming 11, whose defeat of the former orderly originally sent him to the Upside Down for setting everything in motion, Vecna implies that there wasn't any saving him, that he was doomed to transcend his human form to become the predator he was always born to be. Ooh, spooky. Can I click on that? Oh my god. Zoom in just a little bit there. Okay. Once exiled to his new dimension, which Vecna referred to as a realm unspoiled by mankind, this misanthrope became an explorer and created the hive mind and Mind Flayer with the shadow particles he discovered there. 4 years after Vecna's banishment to the bogeyman underworld, 11, through one of Dr. Brenner's exercises, accidentally opened a gate that inevitably introduced the Demogorgons and Mind Flayer to Hawkins, where they could wreak havoc, or would wreak havoc rather, throughout the show's first 3 seasons under the instruction of the former test patient. With the reveal of Vecna as the series' ultimate villain, the Duffer Brothers pulled a bait-and-switch that at once threaded each season together and presented more questions about where the show's plot may move in its 5th and final installment. The mystery of why Hawkins was finally resolved through Vecna's arc in Season 4, but with only 1 season left, a few key loose threads remain. Now we're getting to the final 4. For the 5th consecutive season, we ask, what exactly is the Upside Down? In Season 1, Will is struck in the Upside Down and eventually found by Hopper and Joyce. Because the sole focus of the first season is that the rescue mission, the series doesn't teach us much about the alternate Hawkins besides that it's the home to the Demogorgon and a series of deadly vines. Season 2 followed with the introduction of more creepy crawlers. Dart, the slug, turned out to be a pretty bad house pet, and the Mind Flayer, who possessed and manipulated Will before being banished back to the underworld, and in Season 3 reappearing in the Starcourt Mall alongside Billy and a new Soviet Union plotline. Season 4 peeled back more layers of the onion by introducing fans to the concept of multiple gates, strung together, and Vecna as the Puppet Master Supreme. Yet we're still uncertain of his realm's origin and its striking resemblance to Hawkins. In Vecna's recollection of his first days in the Upside Down, we're shown a mostly barren hellscape that resembles nothing close to the alternate Hawkins. Nancy's crew explored at the tail end of Volume 1. Many online Stranger Things experts, quote, quote, experts, have pinned Upside Down Hawkins, which is frozen in time on November 6, 1983, the day Will Byers went missing, as some type of parallel universe or alternate dimension. But if that's the case, why has the landscape evolved so much since Vecna's arrival in 1979? Could Vecna have rebuilt the Upside Down the same way he turned shadow particles into the Mind Flayer? Perhaps to somehow make it easier for him to break the barrier between worlds? Or did Will, who headlines our third question, have something to do with it? For their part, the Duffer Brothers have said Season 5 will provide missing Upside Down lore ranging from monster hierarchy to the land's basic functions, which means we'll have plenty of time to theorize between now and its release sometime in the 2030s. Kidding, probably. But the Duffer Brothers have hinted that a significant time jump could be on the way, one which may result in Jonathan and Will finding out their mother has a secret acting career. Second question. What role will the government play in Season 5? Since introducing the Soviet Union plotline in Season 3, the show's writers have yet to provide much clarity on the communist regime's purpose for researching the Upside Down. I previously theorized that controlling and or understanding the Upside Down was a space race-esque pissing contest, but the events of Season 4, namely the Soviets using a Demogorgon to fight and kill prisoners, make it seem like the plan was always to weaponize the alternate dimensions monsters in an effort to win the Cold War. That could be why Lieutenant Colonel Jack Sullivan, and the U.S. government have been so paranoid and stubborn regarding 11, whom Sullivan may view as some sort of Soviet weapon of mass destruction sent to demolish his country. Beginning with its most beloved sarcasm town. Most beloved town, that sarcasm, Sullivan still seems hell-bent on capturing and killing 11, but here's hoping Dr. Owens, who's likely alive after alluding on an on-screen death in Season 4, can finally convince the military man that the teenager is the solution, not the problem in Season 5. And at the local government level, I'm just wondering whether Hawkins' real estate market will ever recover. If it doesn't, though, at least Steve and Nancy will be able to afford a big home to house their 6 kids. Sorry, Jonathan. Third question, how is Will's connection to Vecna going to come full circle? Poor Will Byers, his disappearance in Season 1 kicked off a chain of reaction for the ages, which in addition to unleashing monsters and opening underworld portals also resulted in his arrested development and isolation from his peers. In Season 3, Will lurked in the periphery while his friends' relationships and storylines took center stage. And Season 4 was no different. For the second finale in a row, though, Will felt a triangle on his neck that hinted at his expanded role while foreshadowing immense danger for the rest of the town. He's not going to stop. Will warned as the full gang reunited in Hawkins after what most locals assumed was a 7.4 magnitude earthquake. Not until he's taken everything and everyone. We have to kill him. It's still unclear how Will survived for an entire week in the Upside Down back in Season 1, or why he continued to see flashes from the replica Hawkins when he returned home, while other dimension crossers have been relatively unfazed. One popular theory is that Will and Vecna share a secret relationship established when the young child entered the Upside Down, which could somehow play into Vecna's long game. It's a stretch, but what if Vecna views the vulnerable outcast as a potential partner in crime, despite the former's own insistence that he essentially wants to watch the world burn all on his lonesome? Maybe after 11 disappointed him, he's still searching for the pinky to his brain. When you're different, sometimes you feel like a mistake. A teary-eyed Will seemingly alluded to his sexuality, told Mike during his heart-to-heart on the way to rescue 11 from the Nina Project. While Will's experience is distinct, no one on the show understands being an outsider better than Vecna, who may have seen a bit of himself in the young boy after Will vanished on the way home from an evening of Dungeons & Dragons in 1983. Fourth and final question of this article. Who will die a real death? In my season preview, I begged the Stranger Things gods not to kill off any fan favorites this time around, and much to my dismay, we lost Eddie Munson, the most metal dude of all time. Then again, Eddie wasn't on the show until the season started. Stranger Things has yet to fully commit to killing off one of its main characters, and as my colleague Claire McNear noted, the death and resurrection construct has turned into a bit of a storytelling crutch for the franchise. Put simply, something has to give. This is going back to our previous video. Millie Bobby Brown seems to agree the Duffer Brothers are sensitive Sallies who don't want to kill anybody off. She said, we need to have the mindset of Game of Thrones. Kill me off. They tried killing David Jim Hopper off and they brought him back. It's ridiculous. During Phase 4, the Hawkins crew plans to defeat Vecna. During Phase 4, the Hawkins crew's plan to defeat Vecna, Max was killed before being brought back to life by 11, who apparently can do that type of thing now and after never showcasing that specific skill throughout the series. Hopper also managed to make it out of Russia on 100-1, later downgraded to 1,000-1 odds after seemingly dying in Season 3, and Steve survived despite giving one of the most "I'm about to die" monologues of all time in the Winnebago. Seemingly blinded and immobilized by severely broken bones and a vacant consciousness, Max should at the very least be suffering from life-altering physical and psychological wounds if she ever awakens from her coma, which of course she will. Outside of her, some have speculated that Eleven will end up sacrificing herself to fix the problem she inadvertently created, while others have theorized that Steve has already been infected by a demobat bite, which Ross Duffer shot down, while not ruling out the possibility of fan favorites' eventual doom. Whether it's Steve, Eleven, Max, or one of the original Stranger Things kids, adults, one thing seems certain heading into the show's final season. Somebody more important than Billy, and more beloved than any, will perish in Season 5. It's not a matter of if, but whom. The question is less of if or whom, but how many. I think, personally, I kind of want to see just a lot of them die right off the bat. You already know how I feel. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you get more videos whenever I upload these things. All the newest news and information regarding Season 5 coming straight to your inbox. Go ahead and leave a comment down below with how many people you want to die and which ones you want to die in Season 5. Like I said, personally, everyone could die. Hopefully it's really cool, but all of them could die. Okay, that's my take. See you later. Bye.